illustrations and icons can really be a way to break that information up and bring a lot more energy and positivity into the work. Hi creatives, and welcome back to Agency Academy. My name is Malin, and here on the channel we talk about how to build a business that works for you so you have more freedom to create and do the things that you love. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is using illustration for branding. I've been running my branding studio for about 6 years now, and illustration is one of the things that has always been one of my biggest passions because it can just bring so much personality and just like a point of difference to your work. We're going to talk about 3 different ways to use illustration for branding, and along the way I'm going to be sharing a couple different projects with you to sort of showcase what I mean and give you some inspiration. So the very first one is using illustration for sort of icons and details in a brand that bring a lot more personality and helps you stand out from your competitors. And this is really good when you have lots of information to convey. Maybe it's a brand that is very information heavy or it's a complex topic, and illustrations and icons can really be a way to break that information up and bring a lot more energy and positivity into the work. These illustrations do not have to be complicated, which is why it's such a great way to start incorporating illustrations into your branding. One example where we did this in a super simple way was with the project Social Foodies. This is a vegan marketing agency, so marketing for vegan food brands. And basically the idea here is to bring in a little bit of that energy that you have in the food brands into the marketing agency. So we illustrated these little icons that look like different ingredients as a way to showcase their different selling points and their quirky personality. Another example is an annual review that we actually just released with a charity. So this is something where they have compiled information from a whole year's worth of really hard work. So we decided to create this really beautiful layout where you have each letter is hand drawn and it has illustrations that are matching the content of each section. So it's a way to help people find what they need without it feeling so corporate or overwhelming. Another way to use illustration for your branding projects is to really make it the star of the show and to really make sure that the illustration is coming front and center of the design project. And this can be a really fun challenge to make sure that you're conveying all of these different complex ideas and topics and personality of the brand in the illustrations. And I like to do this for companies where photography is really difficult to find. So for example, I worked with a company that work with the gut microbiome, so basically like your gut health. And as you can probably imagine, it's not that nice to put pictures of people having problems with their stomachs or different bacteria. So instead of doing that, we created these different sets of illustrations with different levels of complexity. So here we're actually both using the illustrations as the hero images and as the way to guide the viewer through the different website pages and different assets that they have, like presentations, for example. So this is incorporating both those hero images and the sort of icon style that we had before. The third way I want to talk about is packaging. And packaging, it can be so much fun because a lot of the products are seasonal or maybe got different flavors where you can play with one concept in different styles, different ingredients being illustrated. So one example is we did a drink where we have designs that are reflecting the flavors. So one is lemon and lime and one is strawberry. And so this could be one way of doing it. Of course, you can also do it a lot more subtle. So when you're using illustration to kind of highlight a little bit of the finesse of the ingredients or just sort of communicating what the content of the product is without having to just spell it out. But illustration is such a great way to get your products seen and visible on the shelf, especially if illustration is not something that is used a lot in that food industry or product industry that you're in. Then illustration can really be something that makes people choose the product over another one on the shelf. Since we talk about packaging, I can also throw in that this strategy can be used for any sort of print, like if you're having a conference and you're having a roll-up banner, that can be a great opportunity to use illustration to be visible from really far. When, let's say, a photo might be really complex or detailed, that could be difficult to kind of gauge what's going on in the picture from afar. In illustration, you can really control the level of detail and the content and the layout exactly as you like it. So it can also be really good for printing materials when you have any sort of promotional campaign or conference, for example. And lastly, I have a bit of a bonus one, which is to create branded sections on a website. So for example, having blog posts all have their own custom illustrated thumbnail. And this is something that I always get so excited when I see from different websites, because it really shows that instead of just picking like a stock photo that you thought was semi-relevant to the post, you have someone who have created this unique piece of illustration that reflects the content. And I think this is one where if your client has a bigger budget and they're ready to invest in illustration, it can really create this cohesive, beautiful impact on their website. So this was a bit of a quick inspiration video, and I love the topic of illustration in general. So if you want a video that's a little bit more in depth, maybe showcasing how I create illustrations in Procreate or in Illustrator, or just like the process of creating an illustration from talking to the client to concepting, approval, and exporting everything, I'd love to do a video like that. So just let me know in the comments. If you like this video, I would love if you like it or subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and it of course is really fun for us to see that people are enjoying the content. I really hope you enjoyed it, and super good luck with your projects. See you next time.